Yeah, I wish you could get it through your homeowner's warranty, but their hands are pretty tight as to what they can do, and so you need to really look at this from a whole house perspective.
Yes,
and
sir.
then make sure that your refrigerant level is okay, and make sure your airflow is okay on your air conditioning system, and also make sure.
Do you get somebody to come out to look at it, or what would you suggest?
Well, you should, but unfortunately, from my experience, is that the warranty system really doesn't support that activity.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about addressing sort of a hole in the system. Return air leaks is another hole in the system. So you may actually have a return air leak problem where you're actually pulling in superheated hot attic air that's about 120 degrees right now.
Yes,
and
sir.
that would keep the unit running because it's not designed to overcome that kind of temperature. It's designed for maybe 78, 80 degrees inside your house, and then cool that down.
So I guess what he's saying, Melissa, that his services would be worth having come in, take a look at it, and because what you're spending in utility bills, and plus the fact that you're not comfortable until about 8 o'clock at night.
Absolutely.
That to me would be untenable, would just be unacceptable.
And this isn't. I mean, summer hadn't even hit yet, so
Right.
that's what I'm saying. And so could you just, if you don't mind, repeat who we need to call and
Sure.
what we need to do?
That's right. Is this Melissa? Is that right? Okay, Melissa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write your name down now. Go to 60 or call 601-919-8866. Again, that's 601-919-8866, or go
Yes,
to
sir.
PFE30 PFE30.com. And just contact me, email me, or call me, and because you're a WJNT listener, we'll come out and do a free diagnostic test for you.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thanks for your call.
Okay.
All right. Our number's here, 366-1180. We're talking with Jerold Sit, and he's talking about, a lot of the problems that many of you are experiencing out there, myself, and we have the problem at the office there. The main office, it gets freezing cold in there before the rest of the office gets cool, and it's a hassle because everybody else has to, suffer. It's just not even cool.
Well, yeah, what's neat about that, you hit on something that's really
But before we get to that, I'm going to let you answer that. Let's get Becky on the phone. Hey, Becky.
Hey, how are you doing?
All right.
My question is, they're putting more glass in the houses, and I've got it too. And even if you've got an efficient system, aren't you losing a lot of the air through the windows? And can you suggest what windows would be the best to use in homes in order to keep the insulation inside? And I'm going to hang up and listen to your
Becky.
answer.
Good
Yeah,
question.
Becky, thanks for your question. That's a good question because I don't know of too many windows that are energy efficient. I mean, because we're talking about glass. Glass is just not a good insulator when it's double pane. Now, you can get some triple pane that have gas all in it, but you invest a lot of money. One of the things you have to balance is that, and I love architects because that makes a house a home. The designer, the architect, the decorator, et cetera. So you want windows in a house, but you got to realize that windows are not energy efficient, and then design the system around that. So in a room that has more windows, you will need more vents in there. You will need more air, and that's okay because if it's localized, then you can address it, and then you can get an energy efficient system to take care of it. Sizing is very important, Kim, and you got to size it right to make sure that you're comfortable. And then if it's sized correctly, it will be energy efficient. Again, there are some give and takes. There's no free lunch, but if you do have windows. And I love windows. My house, my personal house has over 30 windows just on the front. And so, I can understand and relate to that. I like windows.
The window salesman caught you on a good day.
Yeah, but windows don't leak air because glass doesn't leak air.
Right.
It's the seams around the windows
Right.
and the edges that has to be sealed because glass is solid.
Right.
It will hold the air in.
All right, our number's here, 366-1180. And, answer the question regarding the unequal distribution of the air in a home.
Yeah, it's zoning. We typically put in one air conditioning system for the entire house. And some rooms we don't even use. Some rooms we don't even live in. And what's really strange is that it seems like the mechanical system, the air conditioning system, is the one system that we seem to refuse or we're reluctant to zone. When you look at your electricity, when we come in from the garage, there through the kitchen door and we flip the light switch on so we can see, does every light in the house come on? No. How about when we turn a faucet on in the bathroom, does every other cold water end or hot water end come on? No, it's all zoned. And so every house when it's designed, especially in new construction homes, but you can do it with with some planning and with some design on the retrofit or the repair situation. Everyone should consider zoning because that increases a person's comfort.
Now, when you
and
talk
energy
about
efficiency.
zoning, are you talking about having a unit for every room? What is it you mean?
Well, you can do that with what's called a split ductless, but you can do it also with damper systems. They've made tremendous strides on the sealing of the dampers. You have motorized dampers that control the bulk of the air that goes to the different rooms. You can control a room individually, or you can control a group of rooms. For residential, we recommend a small group of rooms.
Okay. You have here on your website, you mentioned something about most of the air conditioning units are only being installed up to 2003 codes. What do you mean?
Well, a lot of the regulatory bodies have not adopted the 2006 residential codes, and this is the year 2008. And so, it's a tragedy what happened over in China with all the homes,
Right.
with the earthquake and all the buildings collapsing. So what kind of codes they had over there.
Right.
But we're still back. We're still arguing over this energy efficiency thing. We're not sure what Congress is going to do with the energy bills and energy efficiency and tax rebates. We'll never have control over that. So I'm asking homeowners, and just like I would ask myself, what can I do to help my current situation out?
Right.
And what can I control? And we can control who we get to install the equipment, who we get to service and maintain the equipment, and are we doing it to a third-party standard? Are we doing it to, I hate to use the word textbook, but are we doing this like we're supposed to be doing it? And that's what the code is for. The code is there to ensure the safety.
Well, what's the difference between 03 and 06?
Well, you're talking about insulation levels, and you're talking about air tightness. And we don't want to address those right now because that might increase costs. It might make us do things in a different way. Also, energy efficiency of the unit itself.
Mark, how goes it, sir?
Hey, it's fine. I had a question. I just turned on the radio, and I heard you talking about energy efficiency.
Yes, sir.
And my question is about the ridge vents versus these power vents. Seems like I'm replacing these power vents about every 2 years, and I've had some folks tell me ridge vents might be more efficient. Any comments on that?
Yeah, absolutely. You're dead on. I mean, I wish I were a power vent salesman. Those things seem to go out about every 2 years, and you end up replacing them. And here's the funny thing. They're only going to make about a 5% difference in the temperature. So if you're talking 130-degree attic, you're talking about going to maybe 122. It's still very hot up there. So, ridge vent's the way to go if you must have venting. If you're building new construction, ventless is the way to go. Insulate the roof, and then you have everything below it somewhat conditioned, depending on whether you're going to air condition that attic or not. But it will never be 120, 130 degrees if you insulate the roof. Also use light-colored shingles. That'll help homeowners out there too. Light-colored shingles have a more dramatic effect on the temperature on the inside. There's been a lot of talk about Tech Shield. The price differential in Tech Shield was tremendous a few years ago. Now it's very close, so you can use Tech Shield, and that'll help you reduce the temperature about 10 degrees. We like Tech Shield attics that we work in with ridge vents because they are definitely cooler than the power ventilated ones.
Interesting.
What is Tech Shield?
Tech Shield's a product that has a foil backing on a piece of OSB, and so it's called a radiant barrier. It's not necessary as far as what you're trying to do with the cooling, but it has about an R4 effect on the air conditioning load. So it's like adding about it's like adding a few inches of insulation on there, but it does work. I mean, it lowers the temperature about 10 degrees when in the attics that we work in. So instead of being 120, it's 110 up there for us, so we can stay up there just a little bit longer.
All right. Well, I thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your call.
All right, we're talking with Jerold Sit, and that website is PFE30.com, and the number there is 601-919-8866. You can call for your free diagnostics. He'll come out and take a look at the whole setup and operation, because let's face it, these are the times when people are really noticing the air conditioning. They noticing what's happening, whether it's really cooling the way it should be. Somebody's got a unit that's 5 to 7 years old. I think mine's a train. Has been in there about 5 years, and it seems like it's cool and fine enough for me. But you have on your website there that the units only lasting 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, we're seeing some systems in there. We're seeing some systems that are actually scratch and dent and being rebuilt and sold as brand new. We're seeing some things being thrown in there that are 1-year systems to 5-year systems because the warranty with the buyers is only a 1-year warranty, and so we're seeing some things that just get by versus investing in a system that's going to be a 10 to 15 year system.
All right.